So we brought up this whole thing about, global economics and geopolitical and political. Well, one of the companies that we bought invests in real estate and in what's called a REIT. And that real estate was invested primarily in biotech labs. And what happened was there was some issues with JFK and his his
RFK
stuff.
Jr.
Yeah, Jr. What it's stuff he was doing for great make America healthy again, and it kind of screwed up this REIT a little bit. So, we can't control political, inflationary money. We can't control a lot of these things, but what we can control is what we buy and how we buy it. If a company is not making money and it's trading at 30 times the share price of what it should trade for, 30 times what its earnings are, okay, at a share price, 30 times its earnings, which the S&P 500, anybody that's in the business that doesn't tell you this, it shouldn't be in the business. That is something that would make everybody aware. Now, from a political standpoint, we don't know when it's going to happen, but if you have the tools to value what the markets are doing and you have the ability to value companies to learn what their price is trading for, then you should be able to pick a really good portfolio and go with it. Now, what people tend to use is historical rates of return. How good has it been? How bad has it been? And that's mostly ETFs and mutual funds. But I would advise you to get your advisor to take a look in there. There's things that we use sometimes called X-rays, which a lot of mutual funds have what's called, they lap over into each other. So they'll own the same securities in different positions, percentages of that position. And so if you're not doing these things, it's a good reason to give us a call to see how you're doing, to let us evaluate what you're doing. Because I'm telling you, folks, it is there right now, okay? And a lot of it has to do with what we, teased you with when we told you about what we were going to talk about on the show.
So, Bruce, do you want to talk a little bit about what you think? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but with the S&P 500 going up to 7,000 today.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I just, Jackie, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, but it shouldn't be doing this. It's really about 4 stocks that are doing this, and it has to do with AI. And AI is so new that, we have no technical markers as to what it's going to do. We can only take a company. So if a company earns $1 or $100 and it's trading at, $3,000, then it's trading at 30 times what it's earning, which sometimes is not a regular thing to happen with particular companies. And I don't want to get too technical because people, you talk over their heads and they look at you with a blank look going, what are you talking about? All I'm saying is if a company makes $1 in every industry, they're going to trade with a stock price at, I'm a really basic planner here. I'm not a technical, although I know everything from a technical standpoint because I've been in the business 36 years. But if a company earns $1, they should trade at a certain stock price, okay? Now, in certain industries, they always have what's called a multiple of what they should trade at. But, when you trade at multiples that they're not supposed to be at, which are happening right now, that's a bad thing. And that's the best way I can explain it without getting too technical. And I don't like to get technical. What's really important is you call me 10 years or 15 years before you retire. So I have programs in place to make sure that we have buckets of money put away to use and to integrate and coordinate with each other so that you can have a much easier time. Whereas, a lot of people are calling me, 2 years from retirement or in retirement, which is fine because obviously you're going to need my help even worse now. Right. Because of all these technical factors that are going on in the markets, and you can't afford to lose 20 to 30% on your money when you're taking the sustainable withdrawal rates of 4% out of there, which should also concern you. So, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to set up an appointment. If you're not doing that with your advisor, and everyone's doing it now, everyone's charting along and everything is fine. And again, I've said this for the last year or two, at some point you're going to have to get off that island. You have to come over to some other island because you got a volcano that's about to blow up.
Premier Southwest Planning Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor. The content of this advertisement is intended for informational purposes only and is not intended to be investment advice. The views expressed in this program are subject to change based on market and other conditions.